Hi girl, welcome. Get ready for the story on how I went from a mom of 3 who is single to a stay-at-home baby mama. What was I thinking? Moving to a brand new city with 3 under the age of 3, living in a 1-bedroom apartment as a newly mom who is single. Financially, my life was beautiful. All that I had was a $20,000 student loan debt that was currently in forbearance. However, physically and mentally, my life was so overwhelming and chaotic, and I felt like I was in this endless loop. While I was on maternity leave, I had received a promotion. So not only was I in this brand new city with these brand new babies, trying to learn how to juggle and manage it all, I was also trying to learn a brand new position at my job. Outside of my babies and work, I had little time for anything else. Thank God for working remotely because my hair.
The ghetto! The ghetto!
I would go weeks at a time without washing it. I usually just kept it wrapped up. And taking a shower more than 2 times in a week was a stretch and a great week for me. It's like I just didn't have any time for myself or to care for myself. I struggled to eat properly, and don't even get me started on how much water I would drink. And then my real rock bottom hit. One weekend, I went over to my mom's house and I challenged my 18-year-old brother at the time to a foot race. Not only did he dust me with no questions asked, I also broke my foot in the process. Can you imagine living in a 1-bedroom apartment on a 3rd floor with twin infants who still need to be carried in carriers, and a 2-year-old toddler and a broken foot? I had had enough. That was my rock bottom, and that was the moment where it was like, that just took everything over the edge. I cried out to God. I said, Lord, please transform my life and I will live for you. I want to not live this life that I am living this way anymore. My hair change was the catalyst that changed it all for me. It's like my hair outwardly represented what God was doing on the inside. He was doing so many monumental changes within me that I wasn't even ready for what he was calling me to do next.
Clapping, shouting, and thunderous applause.
On the left onto I-69 South and US.
Yep, I moved again to a brand new city out of state with my 3 babies. Right before Christmas of 2022, I felt like God was calling me to quit my job. However, I was so afraid of jumping without a job. I had always been taught that before you quit a job, you make sure that you have another job lined up. So to quit a job without having something lined up to go into next, it felt a bit scary. And so I didn't want to be disobedient, but I also didn't want to move, and it wasn't really God telling me to do this. So I prayed and I asked God to please, please, please give me a sign on if this is what he really wanted me to do. On January 8th, 2023, I posted a video on my YouTube channel that completely changed my YouTube channel.
Scream right now. I could literally scream. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, y'all.
The video went so viral that within 17 days, it had monetized my channel. I'm talking, I only had maybe 100, 200 subscribers at the time. By the time this video was done, within these 17 days, I had grown well over 3,000 subscribers. got the watch hours, and I felt like it was a sign from God showing me that, hey, I got you. I can do anything. It doesn't matter what you now have or what it now looks like or how much time it has been. I can do something suddenly in your life. And so after that moment, when April rolled around, I found myself jobless and moving to Houston, Texas.
Like I'm not being 100% who I need to be for web, nor myself or the children, and like I feel like I'm being pulled in so many different directions. So I think it is best if I end my journey with web.
Houston, Texas felt like a dream come true. I absolutely loved the apartment I found. I no longer had to sleep in my living room. I now have my own bedroom with its own bathroom in my bedroom. And I felt like I finally had the opportunity to really just be a mom. I didn't have to juggle watching my babies as well as trying to work. I was just with them 24/7, where I could really pour into them and really see them for who they are and love them the way they deserve to be loved and give them the attention that they deserve to receive. But living in Houston wasn't all peaches and cream. There were times when money ran very low. There were times when food got scarce. There were times when lights got cut off. Receiving final notices were a frequent thing for me. I even had a threat of an eviction at one point. So it wasn't all peaches and cream, but God showed up every single time. There was never a time where I really needed something and I went without or I didn't have it. And even more important, that really made me feel so grateful and appreciative is that my children had no idea anything was going on. They were oblivious to it all. They were happy. They were fed every day. They were bathed every day. They didn't know and wasn't exposed to the issues and the problems that were happening around us. So after a year in Houston, Texas, my lease was up and God let me know it was time for me to trust in Him even more.